Yo, what is going on, you guys? Bashtianygo here, and I'm back, and we are hitting it strong, coming at you with my ban list prediction for the upcoming ban list. Don't know exactly when it's going to drop. It could be dropping right now as we speak, as I'm recording this video. It could be dropping tomorrow. It could be dropping next week. It could be dropping in September. We don't know. But all we can do for now is speculate, and with the World Championship already being pretty much gone, well, not pretty much, it did happen. It did happen, I promise. I have all the videos posted on my channel, except for the last round of Swiss, which I think the guy just scooped up both games, so it really wasn't much to see. But if you guys are interested, the live stream is there. Anyway, so today, guys, we're going to be checking out the ban list prediction for what I believe is going to be happening in this upcoming ban list. Now, this is strictly a prediction of what I believe I'm going to do. I do get 2 wish list slots, so do keep an eye out for that. That's going to be at the very end, so I'll show you guys later on. But without further ado, guys, I want to go ahead and get into it. I've been putting a lot of thought into it. Honestly, I think it's a general consensus as far as what we know is going to happen. I mean, let's just go ahead and get the cat out of the bag, talk about the elephant in the room, however you guys want to go ahead and say it, but Kashira just has to go, unfortunately. Unfortunately for me, because, you know, I've been playing the deck, whatever, I like it, but realistically, Kashira has to go. It's been rating at the top, pretty much pouring down on all other decks, dominating the entire TCG meta for months at this point, ever since the release of whatever the newest support was they gave us a Rise Heart. The deck is a menace, right? So how can we finally just get rid of the deck to where it can no longer be used as a deck and it can no longer be used as an engine? Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it, right? So there's a few things that I want to go ahead and address. Number one, let's go ahead and just get rid of this. Is going to be an easy one, right? We're going to go ahead and ban the Arise Heart. Having a walking macrocosmos with 3,000 attack, 3,000 defense that also gains attack if you had the field attack and defense, sorry, if you had the field spell up, and then also attaches all the banished cards. So you're taking your opponent's resources, you're taking your resources, you're plussing off that as well if you attach certain cards. For example, the Infinitrack card or the fossil cards, and when they're in the graveyard, so if you happen to destroy the Arise Heart, you get additional plus off that by destroying your opponent's cards. It just does so much, and I haven't even gotten to the fact that it can detach to either banish something face down and then trigger the era. It just does so much for the deck, guys. I just think at this point, I mean, I don't think I know, but I think we all know that Arise Heart just needs to get banned, and that's pretty much it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Next one is going to be the Unicorn. So Unicorn, I think it needs to go to 1. I think putting it to 2 did nothing to hurt the deck whatsoever. I think putting it to 1 is definitely going to be the best route to go, if not banning it outright. But realistically, I don't think Unicorn is the one that needs to get banned. I think the one that needs to get banned potentially is a Fenrir. And this is where I start to come at a bit of an impasse, right? Because realistically, Fenrir has the versatility and the utility to be played at, to be put to either 1 or potentially even banned, depending on how hard they want to go and hit this deck. In the event that Fenrir gets banned, the deck is completely unplayable, is not worth even trying anymore. In the event that it's limited, you can still try something out, like maybe an era with 1 Fenrir control. You play multiple ogres, so you can go ahead and make sure that you have your preparations so you can still special summon back to Fenrir in case it ever leaves the field or is banished, whatever it might be. So there are additional ways to still go ahead and try to play this deck. Realistically, the one problem card that I won't address in this ban list is probably Kashira Birth. I do not believe they're going to touch that card whatsoever, because essentially that would have been the correct move, the first ban list, but at this point, I mean, it is what it is. I think if they still want to make the deck playable, they'll leave the Unicorn and Fenrir at 1. It will be nowhere near the power it is right now, but it'll still have a little bit of viability potentially to play it as like a side piece engine, but it won't be like you play 3 Fenrir in the main and the rest can be any other deck, you know? So that's pretty much what I have for the Kashira stuff. Although I guess you could throw this next one in. I do want to go ahead and address Dimension Shifter in some ways. So right now it is unlimited, of course. The problem with Dimension Shifter is that it's not promoting a back and forth. It's similar in a way to Droll and Lockbird, but you can, well, and both you can play around, but I just think Dimension Shifter is a bit more oppressive because it's taken away your entire graveyard, which pretty much you can just end your turn outright, which, don't get me wrong, Droll can do as well, but I feel like Dimension Shifter is even more of a sacky card. So I don't think that this card deserves to be at 3. I think putting it to 2 is most likely what Konami may do, even though it's going to feel contradictory to what I just said and feel more saggy because there's no way to search this card. So if you have the one of the 2 ofs, and because you have to have it in your opening hand or else it's not going to do anything for you, you know, it kind of goes that route as well, right? But I mean, that's what I believe Konami is going to do. I mean, you have to, I believe Dimension Shifter is a card that has to be addressed regardless in the ban list, so just be on the lookout for that, definitely, right? Let's see, what else? So next up, I have Sky Striker Engage, which pretty much go ahead and put it at 3. Sky Striker at 2 has done absolutely nothing in the TCG, at least. Absolutely nothing to promote itself. The deck is just, it's a snowball type deck that if you don't draw the right hand going first or second, if you can't get past turn 1-2, you're screwed and it's game over for that because you don't have enough time to build up your spells in the grave. And right now there's not a card that just lets you put free spells in the grave for no reason and take it from there. So honestly, I think Engage at 3 is not even, I mean, you'll see a huge popularity in Sky Striker, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's going to be to the level where it's going to overcome any odds and start, you know, winning events and things like that. It'll definitely top. I don't think it's going to win any events. Same thing with Hornet Drones. I believe it's at 1 right now. It could definitely go ahead and probably come up to, oh, probably definitely, right? It could come up to 2. I mean, because yeah, they've been busting out the new Sky Striker support. They gave us a whole bunch of useless main deck monsters. I don't know why. And they gave us the Sky Striker Azalea, which actually is a really good Link monster that's multi-purpose. But, you know, I digress. So if they want to go ahead and continue promoting Sky Striker stuff, this is probably going to be the best route to go about it. But that's just me, I'm just saying. Another deck that they are looking at, they're promoting is going to be Salamander or any fire stuff. I just didn't think that anything else could come off the ban list for a deck like Infernoble besides the Smoke Grenade card, but that's never coming back. That can stay extra banned. So go ahead and leave that somewhere else, right? But Gazelle's still at 1, I believe. I think that's ridiculous. I think it needs to just come back to 3. And we'll see how this goes. I mean, we do have, I believe, new support coming up very, very soon. We're getting Heat Leo as a ghost rare. They want to make sure that it increases in value. A lot of people are buying into that product. If you put Gazelle to 3, especially right after you release a ghost rare Heat Leo, what are people going to want to do? They're going to want to buy the set. They're going to want their ghost rare and take it from there. I believe it's Heat Leo that's coming in ghost rare. It's one of the Salamander links. You guys know what I'm talking about. Runics. Next deck that we have on the chopping block per se, right? Okay, so there's 2 cards I can definitely start addressing with the Runic engine, because not necessarily a deck, more of an engine, which is Runic Fountain or Runic Tip. Runic Fountain is already at 2. So in the event that this stays at 2, I think Tip just needs to go to 1 to stop its consistency. I think it's extremely consistent, and you can't disagree with that because the deck draws 3 every turn. You know, 2 to 3 cards you're drawing every turn. You can't tell me a deck is not consistent, but that's beside the point. I think that it has good intentions. I think it has good intentions as far as what it's able to do. It's a great supporting role archetype, but to have it at where it's this accessible, which is a bit too much. Konami could just also put both to 1, which I definitely see happening. So it really just depends again what they want to go. But these 2 are getting hit one way or another. I think just the consistency overall needs to go ahead and get hit, which actually segues pretty well into the next card I'm going to go ahead and touch on, which is Sprite Starter. As a former Sprite player myself, look, having Starter go to 2 did not feel too impactful. Seeing it go to 1 would be almost detrimental because at that point it's not really giving you too much of versatility with like Sprite Jet. So you might see people starting to main deck both Smashers and Double Cross in the main deck to go ahead and be able to have multiple options search out with Jet. It makes the deck far less consistent, and its overall ability to continuously extend just goes down the drain, because normally what you do, search blue, special Jet, search starter, activate starter to summon out Sprite Red or Sprite Carrot if you're scared of Imperm or not Nibiru, because the deck plays around Nibiru anyway. If you're scared about like Effect Veiler or Ash, whatever it might be, although they would have asked you already, you summon out the red, and you go about it that way. Or it's a great starter as well, as in the name Sprite Starter. So I think hitting it to 1 is going to hit the consistency to where, because if you hit Sprite Blue, realistically it hurts a lot less, because you still have 2 starters to search off Jet. If you have 1 starter to search off Jet, it just becomes a lot more impactful, my personal opinion. I think it's something they could do, just to open up the doors for new decks to come into the format. For example, like the Infernoble, like I was saying, the Salamangreat that they're trying to promote, get out here. Battle and Boxer, I know, best deck, crazy. I'm probably going to be the only one picking those cards up, I swear. So that's definitely something to potentially look forward to, guys. I'm not trying to get everyone's hopes up or whatever it might be, or start creating some type of craze, but I really believe that Konami could go this route. So a deck we haven't talked about yet is actually going to be Pirelli. So Pirelli, right as it was going to become a tier 0-ish style deck, they slapped Delicious Memory and then made Plump, which was the best XYZ at the time, completely irrelevant to that point. And it honestly, I think it dissuaded quite a few Pirelli players. But realistically, guys, I can definitely see them doing the exact same thing with Sleepy Memory. I think this is the type of disrespect that Konami is 100% capable of doing. So we're seeing a lot of limited cards. But realistically, guys, I mean, there's case in point to be made for all of these, as I'm mentioning to you guys right now. Sleepy Memory, pretty much just enables the new Nor plays, of course, and hitting it to 1 or hitting it to 2 at least would ruin the consistency of the deck overall. I think probably hitting it to 2, giving a soft slap on the wrist, is most likely the route that would still be considered a fair enough hit. Because the issue is, if you activating your My Friend Pearly, right? You reveal 3, right, and you reveal 3 Sleeping Memory, you have a 100% chance of getting Sleeping Memory, and you go clean off from there, which allows you to draw like 4 cards during your opponent's standby phase, and I think is ridiculous, right? Potentially 6 cards in your opponent's standby phase, which I just think is dumb. Really hard to argue with that fact, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave it as a semi-limit, potentially a limited, but I'm just go ahead and say they semi-limited and take it from there, because if they don't, Pirelli is just going to go ahead and go clean off. By far best deck, by far. Another card I want to go ahead and address, different deck, is the Gimmick Puppet Lock. I just go ahead and ban it and move on. Branded itself is not a strong enough deck to where it merits any other hits. Branded Fusion doesn't need to get hit. Branded itself is not that hardcore of a deck, that much of an imposing threat to the point where you have to hit any of the cards on it. I personally don't believe. OCG, I believe they hit Branded Fusion to 1. They hit a few other cards, I believe, but realistically, here in TCG, I don't think it's that serious. I think it's always going to be a deck that maybe hovers around that tier 1.5, tier 2 status style deck. Whenever there's a new format, people figure out what to play, Branded may come up in the discussion, which is exactly what just happened in this previous format. Everyone gave Branded a whole bunch of hype. It got brand new support. It was absolutely busted. Did it do anything? Absolutely not. So that's more or less where I'm going with that. Another card that's definitely going to get banned is Eradicator Epidemic Virus. I think that this card is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, we all saw the big tournaments, the live streams, the amount of games that this card won by itself, essentially. And the fact that Labyrinth can just search it, set it, and take it from there and just let it be is ridiculous. And they're getting a new card, a new monster card that I believe you can search whatever trap you want in the game and slap it on your field and for free. I think that's stupid. That's beyond stupid by any means. So I think let's go ahead and get rid of the Eradicator so we don't have to put up with that. Next going to be the Heraldic Seals. You gotta hit Dragon Link in some type of way. Winning Worlds, of course, different format, more toned down and everything, but you gotta have something you can hit. Putting it to 1 does absolutely nothing at all. So I think limiting it is something that Konami may do, just to give the deck the respect it clearly earned by winning Worlds. Also, shout out Paulie, great job. I think this card we could see getting banned on the next flip for ban limited list, but we'll see. We will have to see. Cards coming off the list, we have the what's this card called again? Herald of Orange Light. I could definitely see coming to 3. I mean, it's a release ya boy. Drytron is not that serious. The Shizu cards with Tier Elements not that serious anymore. It was a problem January or December of last year probably, but it's not a problem anymore. Let's just calm down. Let's go ahead and bring back Herald of Orange Light, and everyone have a nice day. Now, I get my 2 wish list slots. So, first wish list slot, I want Electromite to be unbanned. Why? Because I don't see anybody playing any Pendulum decks whatsoever, and I want to see more variety. You know, I think that first of all, we need to see more Triff content on YouTube. Triff, we need more videos, bud. Come on. And I think that would definitely be a direct correlation of Electromite. No, but seriously, guys, I think that you're pretty much getting rid of an entire summoning mechanic because this one card supports that entire, and that's already a flawed system. Because realistically, after a Rise Heart goes, we should see a little bit more decks coming out that do play Pendulums, because this is the main thing that is stopping you from playing Pendulums. If you run into an Arise Heart or a Shanger Era and they block that one Pendulum zone, and you're screwed. So that's another thing that kind of stops you from wanting to play those type of decks. So I think having Electromite to even to 1, even if you want to put it just to 1, fine. We'll leave it at 1 and we'll take it from there. But Electromite needs to come off the ban list. Come on, guys. This has been banned for too long. We need a little bit of consistency. And my second wish list slot is going to be Dragonic Diagram to 3. I think this would be fantastic for Dinosaur players and True Draco players alike. Any deck that likes to destroy its own cards to gain additional pluses off that is huge. So that's going to be it for the ban list prediction, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Is there a deck that I missed? Do you really want me to hit Rika Sun Avalon? Do you really want me to hit the Chimera cards? Let me know in the comment section down below. We'll talk about it. Make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.